Welcome to Dogs Info. Your dog the perfect life, but there is a heartbreaking reality most owners completely miss. Millions of domestic dogs are well fed. They go on daily walks. They sleep on soft beds and are treated like family members. Yet, they spend their entire lives feeling chronically stressed and emotionally isolated. This is not because you are failing them on purpose. It happens because there are hidden biological needs that completely alter a canine's reality and almost no one teaches us about them. Dogs suffer in absolute silence. They adapt quietly, hiding their anxiety behind subtle physical cues. Today, we are decoding 7 vital secrets that will completely transform your dog's life. Secret number 1: targeted physical decompression. There is a silent epidemic in our homes. Countless dogs are living with immense physical stress every single day, and their owners simply never notice. Dogs cannot speak. They cannot verbally tell you that their central nervous system is exhausted. They cannot tell you that their shoulder muscles are tight or that their fight-or-flight response has never truly powered down. Over time, this hidden tension bleeds into their behavior. They begin panting heavily for no reason. They pace restlessly across the living room floor. They struggle to fall into a deep sleep. They become easily startled by sudden noises or easily irritated by minor changes. Most humans look at this behavior and assume the dog is just naturally hyperactive. The biological truth is much deeper. Dogs store emotional stress directly in their physical tissues exactly the way humans do. This is why targeted gentle canine massage can completely revolutionize a dog's emotional baseline. When you intentionally place your hands on their body, the dynamic changes. Slowly stroke your palms down the length of their spine. Rub the dense muscles of their shoulders with a soft yielding pressure. Use small, slow, circular motions around the base of their neck. When you do this, your dog's brain begins receiving a very specific, powerful neurological signal. It tells their biology that in this exact moment they are completely safe. It is no longer just casual petting. It becomes a profound physical connection. It is a rare moment where the dog truly feels there is absolutely no need to guard the perimeter. Watch their physical behavioral cues closely. At first, they might still seem rigid. Their ears might stay locked forward. Their eyes might remain wide and alert. But after a few sustained minutes of slow rhythmic touch, their biology shifts. Their breathing rate begins to drop. Their skeletal muscles physically soften. Their eyes lose that hard, anxious focus. Some dogs will close their eyes completely, letting their head drop heavily into your hands. For the first time all day, their autonomic nervous system is finally allowed to rest. A dog that receives this kind of intentional physical touch does not just become calmer. They begin to trust your leadership on a much deeper level. In a dog's sensory world, gentle, peaceful touch speaks far louder than any verbal command ever could. Secret number 2: unbroken biological presence. There is a profound reality that many dog owners never stop to truly process. To your dog, you are not just a piece of their daily routine. You are their entire universe. Their whole existence revolves around your physical presence. They track the specific sound of your footsteps. They memorize your unique scent profile. They monitor the tone of your voice. They even absorb the microscopic shifts in your emotional state. The truly heartbreaking part is that many dogs spend all day sitting right beside their owners, yet they never actually feel connected to them. They walk right beside you on the leash, but your eyes remain locked downward on a glowing phone screen. They lie heavily next to your feet on the couch, but your mind is thousands of miles away, lost in work, stress, or digital distractions. From a logical human perspective, you are physically in the room. But from your dog's biological perspective, you feel incredibly distant. Dogs do not measure your love by the sheer number of hours you exist in the same house. They measure your love through focused presence. They measure it by the way you make direct eye contact when they turn their head to check on you. They measure it through the few extra patient seconds you give them to investigate an interesting scent on the sidewalk. They feel it in the soft, dedicated tone of your voice when you call their name after a grueling day. To a canine, those tiny, focused micro moments are exactly what creates a deep sense of pack belonging. Canine science has revealed something truly remarkable about our bond. Dogs absorb human emotions with staggering intensity. If you walk through the front door feeling stressed, irritable, or emotionally detached, your dog's nervous system immediately begins to destabilize. They absorb your chaotic energy. But if you deliberately slow your movements down, sit quietly beside them and truly focus your attention on them for just 5 minutes, their entire biology changes. Their heart rate literally syncs with yours. What dogs desperately need is not a flawless, wealthy lifestyle. They need the undeniable feeling that their favorite person is truly mentally present with them. Secret number 3: intense cognitive enrichment. This is a concept that the vast majority of dog owners completely misunderstand. People often think that because their dog runs around the backyard and takes a brisk walk around the block, their needs are fully met. They assume physical exhaustion equals a happy dog. But it is not true. A dog can be completely physically exhausted and still be entirely mentally starved. You have to look at their evolutionary biology. A dog's brain was intricately designed by nature to solve complex problems. Their wild ancestors survived by tracking microscopic scent trails. They had to make rapid tactical decisions. They had to forage for hidden food sources. They had to constantly observe their changing environment and decode subtle physical signals from their pack. That massive intellectual instinct never disappeared. It is still hardwired into your dog's DNA. Yet today, millions of dogs live lives that are painfully, agonizingly repetitive. They eat the exact same kibble from the exact same metal bowl. They walk the exact same concrete route every single morning. They repeat the exact same passive routine for years on end. Then owners act surprised when their dogs begin destroying the sofa cushions. They wonder why the dog barks endlessly at the living room window, digs massive holes in the yard, or paces the floor with restless anxiety. The harsh truth is that is rarely a bad or disobedient dog. That is a highly intelligent mind that is slowly decaying from chronic boredom. That is why introducing intense mental stimulation can transform a dog's behavior with shocking speed. You do not need expensive equipment. Simply rolling their daily food tightly inside a heavy towel and letting them unroll it works wonders. Using a complex snuffle mat to hide high V-value treats forces them to use their brain. Shaping a brand new challenging trick wakes up their dormant neural pathways. Something fascinating happens to their biology after just 15 minutes of intense cognitive work. Many dogs will drop into a deeper, more peaceful sleep than they would after a full hour of mindless fetching. Mental processing drains a dog's energy reserves far more efficiently than physical running. Most importantly, every single time a dog successfully solves a mental puzzle, their brain receives a massive spike of dopamine. They experience a profound sense of biological achievement. They feel like they are finally living the purposeful life they were engineered for. They stop merely existing in your house and they start actively using the brilliance they were born with. Secret number 4: deep olfactory freedom. We view the world primarily through our eyes. We see colors, shapes, and movement. But your dog perceives the entire universe through their nose. Their olfactory bulb is vast and incredibly complex. When a dog walks outside, they are not just looking at trees and fire hydrants. They are reading an invisible, highly detailed chemical landscape. They can smell which animals passed by hours ago. They can detect the emotional state of the dog that left a mark on the corner. They read the neighborhood like a daily newspaper. Yet, human beings constantly rush them. We put them on a short leash and physically drag them away from the most interesting scents because we are in a hurry to finish the walk. Imagine someone dragging you through an art museum at a full sprint, forcing you to look away from every painting. That is exactly how a dog feels when they are rushed through a walk. Denying a dog the right to sniff is denying them their primary sensory experience. Allowing your dog to engage in deep olfactory freedom completely changes their mental health. When you take them on a walk designated specific times where the sole purpose is sniffing. We call this a sniffari. Let them stop at that patch of tall grass. Let them bury their nose in the dirt for 2 full minutes if they want to. Do not pull the leash. Do not verbally rush them. Just stand quietly and let their brain process the complex chemical data. Studies have proven that allowing a dog to sniff freely significantly lowers their pulse rate. It physically reduces their circulating stress hormones. It provides massive psychological relief. A slow 20-minute walk where the dog is allowed to sniff everything is infinitely more exhausting and fulfilling for their brain than a fast-forced 2-mile jog on concrete. Give them back their most powerful sense. Secret number 5: Safe canine social literacy. There is an intricate silent language happening all around us that humans will never fully speak. It is the complex physical language of dogs. A millimeter shift of a dog's ear, a subtle stiffening of the shoulder muscles, a deliberate turning away of the head, the specific curving path 2 dogs take as they approach each other. In a fraction of a second, dogs are exchanging hundreds of biological microsignals that humans completely miss. Because of this complex communication, you can never entirely replace the presence of other dogs in your pet's life. However, modern society has created a massive problem. Many dogs grow up almost entirely isolated from a healthy canine world. They never learn how to fluently read these subtle social signals. They never experience natural calm interactions with their own species. Then, inevitably, they see another dog on the sidewalk. They panic. They react with explosive fear or overwhelming overstimulation. They bark aggressively, lunge against the collar, and spin in circles. Owners immediately panic and label the dog as aggressive. But most of the time, that is simply a deeply insecure dog that never learned the language of safety. The absolute worst thing you can do is throw an insecure dog into the chaotic, unpredictable environment of a crowded dog park. That only floods their nervous system with panic. The secret to changing their life is providing slow, highly controlled, positive exposure. Start by finding one calm, balanced dog. Meet in a completely neutral environment like an open field. Do not force them to greet face to face. Walk them parallel to each other at a safe distance. Let them observe each other's body language without any physical pressure. Let them slowly close the distance on their own terms. Every single calm, uneventful interaction becomes a permanent safe memory filed away in their brain. Over time, they begin to realize that the sight of another dog does not mean a fight or a chaotic, stressful event. Not every dog needs to be a social butterfly. Not every dog wants to play with strangers. Some dogs are perfectly content with just 1 or 2 quiet, trusted canine friends. And that is perfectly fine. What truly matters is that your dog maintains a healthy, fearless connection to the world of their own kind. Secret number 6: The gift of unstructured autonomy. Take a moment to think about how heavily managed a domestic dog's life truly is. We dictate exactly when they are allowed to eat. We decide when they sleep. We determine when they go to the bathroom. We choose the exact route of their walk. We tell them when to sit, when to stay, and when to speak. A dog goes through their entire life with almost zero personal autonomy. They have virtually no control over their own daily existence. In the world of psychology, a complete lack of control over your environment leads directly to chronic anxiety and learned helplessness. You can profoundly alter your dog's emotional well-being simply by giving them the gift of choice. This does not mean letting them run wild without rules. It means finding safe, structured ways to let them be the decision maker. Take them to an empty park or a quiet hiking trail. Put them on a long 15-ft training line instead of a short leash. Then just follow them. Let them choose which trail to take. Let them decide if they want to walk fast or sit in the grass for 10 minutes. Let them dictate the pace and the direction. When a dog realizes they have agency, when they understand that their choices actually matter and will be respected, their confidence skyrockets. You will see their posture change. Their tail carriage will lift. Their stride will become more relaxed. Unstructured autonomy allows them to shed the heavy burden of constant obedience. It gives them a brief, beautiful window of time to simply exist as an animal in the world, making their own choices without human interference. That tiny taste of freedom is a powerful medicine for an anxious canine mind. Secret number 7: instinct-driven playtime. Many people view playing with their dog as a luxury. They see it as a fun little activity to do on the weekends if the weather is nice. But for a dog, play is not just a casual reward. It is a deeply urgent biological emotional need. When a dog engages in high-intensity play, they are not just burning off calories. They are safely activating the deepest, oldest predatory instincts buried inside their DNA. They possess a biological need to track, to chase, to capture, to tug, and to feel the thrill of a hunt. The sad reality is that millions of dogs never get to truly release these instincts. They go for a highly structured, boring walk and then spend the next 10 hours lying silently on a rug. They experience no physical challenge. They feel no adrenaline. They have no moments of absolute uninhibited joy. Over time, that trapped, stagnant energy mutates into severe behavioral issues. They chew up baseboards. They bark obsessively at the fence. They sprint frantically through the house at midnight. What they are desperately trying to communicate is a biological need for an outlet. The secret is discovering exactly what kind of play unlocks your dog's specific genetics. Some dogs possess a massive retrieval drive and want to chase a ball until the sun goes down. Others need the heavy physical resistance of playing a fierce game of tug-of-war with a thick rope. Scent hounds might become entirely obsessed with tracking down a specific toy hidden in the woods. Once you find the exact game that triggers their specific biology, their entire physical form changes. Their eyes lock on with laser focus. Their muscles tone up. But it is not just about physical joy. It is about your relationship. High-intensity shared play acts as a massive biological bonding event. It triggers intense oxytocin bonding loops between you and the dog. During play, a dog lowers all their social defenses. They trust you completely. They allow themselves to become silly, wild, and totally free in your presence. Just 15 minutes of highly focused, instinctual play every single day can heal a dog's emotional wounds faster than hours of silent petting. To a dog engaging in raw, joyous play with the human they trust most is the absolute pinnacle of happiness. After hearing all of this, you might begin to view the dog resting at your feet through an entirely different lens. Dogs were never designed by nature to survive on premium kibble alone. They need far more than just a warm roof over their heads. A dog can be fed massive meals every single day and still starve from emotional loneliness. They can live in a massive, expensive house and still suffer from chronic invisible stress. They can spend their entire 10 or 15-year lifespan sitting right beside their owner, yet never truly feel understood as an animal. What dogs truly require from us is surprisingly simple. They need intentional, gentle physical touch to regulate their nervous systems. They need focused, unbroken presence so they feel truly seen. They need the freedom to use their incredibly powerful noses. They need the agency to make their own choices. They need to activate their primal instincts through play. But most importantly, they need the undeniable certainty that they belong to a pack. That biological need to belong is exactly why your dog will wait by the front door for 8 straight hours just to see your face. It is why they greet you with explosive, overwhelming joy, even if you only walked outside to check the mail. To a dog, love is not a complex equation. They give their entire fragile heart to one specific person. Then they spend almost their whole life hoping that person will eventually learn to speak their language. The most heartbreaking aspect of dogs is their capacity for unconditional forgiveness. They continue loving their owners deeply even when their complex emotional needs are entirely ignored. They do not hold grudges. They do not harbor resentment. They simply adapt to the quiet loneliness. They endure it silently and they continue loving you in the absolute only way they are biologically capable of. The single greatest thing that will change a dog's life forever is not a massive backyard. It is not an expensive leather collar. It is not gourmet treats. It is simply one human being finally taking the time to truly decode their biology and understand their silent emotions for the very first time. Tonight, before you go to sleep, try giving your dog a few truly intentional minutes. Put the phone in another room. Turn off the television. Stop rushing through your evening routine. Just sit down beside them on the floor. Slowly, gently stroke the muscles of their neck and spine. Look directly into their eyes just a few seconds longer than you normally would. Watch how their physical body responds to your unbroken focus. Watch the tension melt away just because you are truly there. You will soon realize something incredibly profound. Throughout their entire tragically short life, your dog never needed you to be a flawless human being. They do not care about your bank account. They do not care if your workday was a massive success or a total failure. They do not care about your social status. The only biological question they constantly ask is, "Are you truly here with me right now?" That level of pure unadulterated devotion is so rare that human beings often spend their entire lives searching for it. It is a love that always forgives. It is a love that patiently waits by the glass door. It is a love that feels explosive joy simply because your shadow crossed the threshold. Dogs are granted such a brief fleeting moment on this earth. Yet during those few short years, they willingly hand over their entire existence to their owner. If understanding these biological secrets made you look at your dog differently today, then their life has already begun to change for the better. Their silent language is waiting to be heard. We would absolutely love to hear about the loyal companion who shares your life. Drop down into the comments section right now and tell us your beautiful dog's name. What if your dog has been saying, "I love you," every single day and you have been completely ignoring it? We often mistake our dog's quietest gestures for simple neediness or laziness. But the truth is, dogs possess a deeply complex biological language of affection. From falling asleep at your feet to dropping their favorite toy into your lap. These aren't random acts. They are profound declarations of absolute trust. In this video, we uncover 7 subtle signs that your dog is unconditionally bonded to you. Once you learn to read these hidden signals, your relationship with your loyal companion will never be the same. Let us decode the secret language of your dog. Number 1, they follow you everywhere, even to the bathroom. You might roll your eyes or laugh when your dog insists on following you right into the bathroom. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself why they do it? Why, out of every room in the house, every soft bed, and every cozy sunlit corner, do they insist on being exactly where you are, even during your most private moments? This isn't just about a clingy habit. It's not about begging for food. And no, it is absolutely not because they are bored. This behavior stems from something much deeper within their DNA. In the wild, canines stay close to their pack leader, not just to survive, but to feel a profound sense of safety. And to your domestic dog, you are the entire pack. You are the immovable anchor in a world that constantly changes around them. So when they follow you from the living room to the kitchen, they are not being annoying. They are physically saying, "Where you go, I belong." It is their biological way of keeping watch, staying connected, and protecting the bond that to them means absolutely everything. Have you ever noticed how they quietly sit just a few feet away when you are cooking dinner, folding the laundry, or simply resting on the couch? They are not waiting for a command. They are just there, steady, loyal, and fully present. And when you are feeling low or exhausted, they often get even closer, as if their very physical presence might patch up the silence inside your heart. But here is the fascinating part that most people miss entirely. This following behavior isn't random. Behavioral studies consistently show that dogs who follow their humans closely throughout the day often possess the highest levels of emotional synchrony. That means your dog isn't just physically with you. Their nervous system is actually in tune with yours. And if that level of unseen closeness surprises you, just wait until you find out what happens when they bring you their favorite toy, especially when you are feeling down, because that is when their heart speaks the absolute loudest. Number 2, they give you their favorite toy when you're down. Have you ever had a long, heavy, emotionally draining day and then out of nowhere, your dog trots up and gently drops their absolute favorite toy right at your feet? At first glance, it is so easy to assume they just want to initiate a game of fetch. But pause for a moment and look closer at their body language. That toy isn't just a chewable piece of rubber or an old slobbery squeaky duck. To them, it is the one physical thing in the house they treasure most. So why would they willingly hand it over to you? In the complex social world of a dog, voluntarily giving up a prized possession is an act of rare, profound trust. It is exactly like a young child offering you their favorite teddy bear. Not because they are done playing with it, but because they genuinely believe it might bring you the same comfort it brings them. They notice when your shoulders slump. They hear when your voice softens. They feel when your internal energy shifts downward. And in the absolute only way they know how, they respond to your pain. By dropping that toy, they are saying, "This object makes me feel better. Maybe it will help heal you, too." It is incredibly easy to overlook this beautiful gesture. We humans are busy, stressed, and distracted. We absent-mindedly pat their head, toss the toy aside, and move on. But dogs do not operate on accident. They are highly intuitive creatures. Studies even show that dogs can detect microscopic emotional changes in stress hormones in humans by scent alone. So when they clearly see and smell that you are not okay, they take action. And sometimes their purest act of love comes in the form of a slobbery, squeaky offering. But there is even more to it. Some dogs won't just bring you a toy. They will wait, sit, and stare deeply into your face. They don't need you to throw the ball. They just need you to see them, to feel that you are not alone in your sadness. And isn't that exactly what we all want when life feels too heavy? Now, imagine this. What if the toy isn't just a physical gift, but an emotional mirror? What if your dog is showing you exactly what they need when they are hurting, too? Number 3, they look into your eyes and spark a chemical reaction. Have you ever caught your dog just staring at you from across the room? Not in that playful high-energy throw-the-ball kind of way. I mean with soft eyes, their head tilted slightly to the side as if they are actively trying to read your human thoughts. And maybe, just maybe, you looked back at them and felt something shift in the air. A sudden stillness, a kind of quiet, unspoken connection that words simply cannot reach. In the natural world of canines, eye contact is never taken lightly. Among wild animals, a hard stare is almost always a threat or a physical challenge. But with you, your dog does the exact opposite. They soften their gaze. They blink slowly. They hold the eye contact without any tension. And in that very moment, something incredible and biological is happening inside both of your bodies. Clinical studies have definitively shown that when dogs and their humans lock eyes with warmth and affection, both of their brains simultaneously release a massive surge of oxytocin. That is the exact same chemical hormone that bonds a human mother to her newborn baby. So yes, when your dog looks at you with that soft expression, they are not just seeing your face, they are actively feeling your presence. They are literally chemically falling deeper in love with you. It is wild to think that a simple glance across the living room could hold that much biological power. But your dog does not need spoken words. Their eyes do all the heavy lifting. You, they seem to say silently, are my person. I feel completely safe with you. This gaze is often paired with a highly relaxed body posture, a slow sweeping tail wag, or maybe even a gentle lean against your leg. These are all silent affirmations of a bond they trust more than anything else in the world. Have you ever looked away too soon, not realizing that moment was so much more than just a look? It was a promise, a quiet, sacred biological exchange that says, "I see you and I choose you." And if simple eye contact can trigger a flood of love hormones, just wait until you see what your dog's sleeping position says about how deeply they trust you. Number 4, they expose their belly while sleeping near you. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to find your dog curled heavily at your feet or tucked quietly right beside your bed? Think about it. They could have slept anywhere in the house on the comfortable couch inside their cozy crate or stretched out by the cool window. But they deliberately chose you. That simple spatial decision made night after night says infinitely more than most people realize. In the wild, dogs only sleep near those they trust with their absolute life. Sleep is the single moment when an animal is at its most physically vulnerable to predators. So, if your dog actively chooses to rest beside you, it means they view you as their ultimate safe haven, even in their most defenseless state. It is not just a modern habit. It is a primal instinct passed down through thousands of generations of pack loyalty and survival. And in your modern secure home, that ancient instinct still whispers to them, stay close to your family. But what is even more revealing is exactly how they position themselves when they sleep. If they curl tightly into a ball, nose tucked to their tail, they are naturally seeking warmth and comfort while protecting their vital organs. But if they sprawl out completely beside you, legs stretched in every direction, back twisted and soft belly fully exposed to the ceiling, that is a level of trust so complete it borders on sacred. A dog's belly is their most unguarded vital core. When they show it to you while unconscious, they are biologically telling you, I have absolutely no fear in this world. Not when I am with you. And here is something fascinating few people know. Neurological studies strongly suggest that domestic dogs actually dream about their owners. When you see them twitching their paws, whimpering softly, or paddling their legs in deep sleep, you might just be the star of that dream. Imagine that you are not just the center of their waking day. You are the center of their night, too. So the next time they doze off heavily beside you, resist the human urge to move. Let them stay. Let them physically feel the safety they have come to trust so deeply. Number 5, they wait by the door when you leave. Have you ever noticed your dog's mood drastically shift even before you pick up your car keys? Before the front door even cracks open, before a single goodbye is spoken, they already know. They know you are about to leave the pack. And more than that, they feel the impending absence. Deeply. The soft shuffle of your work shoes, the subtle change in your breathing rate, the specific pause in your morning routine. It all speaks volumes to their highly observant minds. Dogs do not need digital clocks, and they do not understand human calendars. What they have is you. And the moment your daily rhythm shifts toward the exit, their entire world tilts a little on its axis. Some dogs will pace nervously. Others will sit squarely by the front door, ears tilted back, eyes full of quiet, waiting worry. And the second you are finally gone, something heavy lingers in the house. Your unique scent, your residual energy, your stark absence. That is exactly why some dogs will immediately go curl up in your discarded laundry basket. It is why they wait patiently by the front window and why every little creak in the hallway floorboards makes their ears perk up. They are not being overly dramatic. They are desperately holding on to the only physical piece of you they can while you are away. And then comes the reunion. The tail that goes absolutely wild before you even turn the doorknob. The frantic zoomies across the living room carpet. The happy high-pitched bark that finally breaks through the hours of silence. That reaction is not just excitement. It is profound biological relief. It is pure joy. It is the realization of you came back. You always come back. That explosive moment may only last a few minutes, but to your dog, it is everything. Studies have shown that dogs can recognize their specific humans. Thing for watching and like and subscribe, share please.